In the break, I was thinking, I think with my tummy, I could have been a great all-rounder. Eh? Jacques, let's look to you, because earlier on, when you spoke, you talked about systems and changing the way things are run. And I was just wondering, for a long time, it seemed that Cricket SA was doing great, or is it that we just couldn't see because of what was happening on the field? What went wrong in your view that you're standing here today saying that, a lot needs to change?
I think we're ever evolving. I think you're always going to be confronted with challenges, and that will happen to any sporting code. So as much as we would hope that things will always be on the up, I think there's always a down cycle to it. I also think administration has become quite in the public space. So if there's a scandal or perceived scandal, it's well reported on, and that changes things quite significantly. And I think that's what happened to us. But it's also given us the opportunity to have a good hard look at ourselves and to do it a bit better. I think it's sad that you take up that much space within the media, and it's all about administration. I think administrators should be like good referees. If they're good, you don't know they're there. And that's what we try to go to. I'm also sometimes wary that people see us as everybody in administration is bad. And that's wrong. You've got wonderful people. Us being number one in the world in 2 of the 3 formats. Graeme didn't arrive as a 20-year-old professional player out of nowhere. He's gone through a whole system. And being privileged to know these people working in cricket, we've got passionate people. Okay. I get Yogi to talk about cricket. I got to leave because he won't stop talking anyway. So Anton Ferreira is so passionate. We've got people like that in cricket, and I think sometimes we generalize when it comes to administration. You see us all being bad. Luckily, my grandmother is 93. She thinks I'm coaching the Proteas. So she's on a high as well now, I must be honest.
So did the governance model change from the Bacher era? Was there a shift?
Well, not just, I think not just in sport or South African sport, but in general, I think sport's become a big business. You got big business interest in it. And I think a good combination of independent directors and directors that represent the sport itself is a good mix. We've had the Lord Wolf report that investigated the whole ICC, International Cricket Council, the governing structure, and out of that came a lot of recommendations. We've also gone through a process where we had the Nicholson report, and there were certain recommendations. And to be fair, you've got to look at this board and say there's a willingness to move in that direction, which is wonderful. We want to do it better, and I do think that will help going forward.
All right, so I don't know, put it into context for us, because as you said, it was reported enormously, and one might think that was the only thing that ever happened to cricket South Africa, the Majola saga. How damaging was that to the brand Cricket South Africa? And when you put it into context before and after, what does it mean?
I think any negative reporting will damage the brand, and research has shown that it has. So we now got to change that, and it takes time. When we did the makeup session just before this morning, I looked at the lady and I asked her, could you make my double chin go away? And she says, yes, but it's going to take time. So, the same with brand. I don't think you just recover a brand. I think the people would want to see where do we go with it. But we're definitely on the way. If I assess the reaction of corporate SA in terms of sponsorship, I think we've restored some credibility. But also, we're so in the public eye that I'd be surprised if we don't have any negative reporting going forward. We're still busy with the process. There will be some hiccups. But I think the public out there wants to see that there's a willingness to improve it, and we want a better administration going forward.
All right, so when you took over, what did the board say you have to do? Did they give you a mandate?
Yeah, I think the first mandate is to make sure that operationally we still continue as we did. And that was easier than people think, because we've got wonderful people that works at affiliate level and in Cricket South Africa. Then, of course, we got to get the sponsors back. That might have been a little bit more difficult, but that was one of the mandates, and operationally to make sure we're going forward. And then, of course, to start the process of rebuilding the CSA brand, which I think we've done well. I don't think it's divorced from the performance of the Proteas. Look, if you ask people out there, they don't want to talk about board members and boardroom politics. They want to talk about the Proteas. So as long as the Proteas win, just want to put a bit of pressure on you as well, actually. I feel it's only going one way. There's no questions about, wife and proposing to me. But I do think it helps. But it also reflects that our structures can't be that bad as well.
But then you quit.
Yeah, I think it's gone really well with me. I've only resigned once. So I think looking back then, I've got to ask myself, and I mean, this is focusing on leadership. You've got to ask yourself, within the environment, can I play a role that will improve it and make it better? And at a stage, I wasn't certain that I was the right person to do it. I wasn't sure that the interaction with the people involved would have a positive result, and we had to sit down. I was going back into cricket, so it's in my interest that cricket goes in the right direction as well. So, but ever since, I'm happy to report I haven't resigned since. So it's been going really well.
And a good relationship with the board.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's difficult times. Could you imagine you've got an acting CEO, acting chairman reporting to a almost outgoing board? So it's not ideal circumstances to work in. But I think we've done well.
All right, okay, we're going to take another quick break, and then we're definitely now going to start getting to you.